I had a collapsed lung. I had a broken back. I had severe burns. My ear was almost completely taken off. They had to like stitch behind it. Actually staple behind it.
Oh, because that first right away to staple?
Yeah. It was the worst. Staples are the worst. I mean, oh man. My entire back got stapled.
Oh, the whole
incision, which is like this long.
Yeesh.
Apparently my head also got stapled.
Really?
So I had a minor brain bleed, which I cannot believe I survived, like to like reflect on that. I mean, the amount of injuries I sustained and the amount of blood I lost and just everything. Like when I say everything happens for a reason and that God has a plan, like I was meant to survive that day.
For sure.
Like, brain bleed. Oh, and the fact that I didn't sustain a bad brain injury.
Yeah.
Like I'm not brain dead.
Right.
My legs don't work like they used to.
but you can fully have conversations and engage in a conversation.
I can still share my story and reach other people, which I think, like, I'm just thankful for that,
Yeah.
What other injuries did I sustain?
Well, I think it's important, too, to highlight, to let the people know that it's a big truck.
Yeah.
It was a big Ford. It was like 250? F-250.
Yeah.
So it's a big truck. You guys, just to paint the picture for them,
Yeah. Landed on top of me. Yeah. We'll have to include pictures too, because I don't know who took pictures, but I'm glad they did, because I can just like look back on that and really like it hits close to home, that I did survive that,
Do you get, not to interrupt the story or anything like that.
Good.
Do you get, when you look at those photos, is there a different way of looking at them, let's say 3 years ago? As opposed to now? Definitely.
Oh my gosh. When I first saw them, I cried.
Yeah.
Even just talking about what had happened to me, I would cry. I get so depressed. And that's another thing that I'll like get into, but for a long time.
That's what I think you're unique in that it's so cool that you can be so optimistic right now, talking about everything the way you are, because it's shallow waters, I guess you would say, or sensitive topic for sure. And I want to be able to communicate and convey the stuff that you want to, with a serious tone,
Yeah, definitely.
But I do like that you make it comfortable enough to, giggle here and there. And, so
thank you.
I appreciate that too, because it makes it easier on myself. Too.
No, it's a hard thing to hear.
It's definitely a hard thing to hear. And, but continue on with the story. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, you're good. Anyways, so I was at Salinas Natividad Hospital. Thankfully, that was a new trauma center. And for the first, I'd say at least 24 hours, they didn't know if I was going to survive just because of the loss of blood. And they couldn't do my back surgery right away because I wasn't stable, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I still don't know a whole lot about surgeries and stuff, even after everything I went through. But they needed to reinflate my lung, or however that works. Sorry, I sound stupid talking about this.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
Yeah. I needed to have like my oxygen levels back up. So that's why I had oxygen tube. And then my blood, I had to get a blood transfusion, I think, before the surgery too.
Did you have any, speaking about the injuries, did you have any broken ribs at all either?
They don't think so. That wasn't really a priority. So a lot of things, which this was actually an interesting experience for me to go through, because I learned a lot about like what happens when people go through
and everything.
And what happens when people go through trauma. So like certain things, like I have glass still come out of my body all the time, because that's just not a priority when you're almost dying. They don't take care of stuff like that.
Yeah, if there's a hierarchy.
So they actually, I definitely had rib issues.
Yeah.
I don't know if there were any broken ones, but I definitely had like a rib popped out or something.
Yeah.